Mbappe is comfortably the best player in the world right now. Wirtz finally scores his first Premier League goal, never mind. Chelsea's title dream lasted a full 3 days, and Neymar may have just saved Santos from relegation. This is DMAC Daily. 62 goals and counting for the Frenchman in the calendar year of 2025. He's just 7 shy of second place Ronaldo's 69 and a whopping 30 behind Messi's. Zero chance he surpasses the Argentine in the final 4 games of 2025, but what an incredible year it has been for the Frenchman. It speaks volumes that in such a destabilized Madrid side, both under Ancelotti and now with Xabi Alonso, Mbappe has maintained a consistent world-class level. It's crazy to me that whenever Madrid underperform, he is so often the scapegoat for their collective problems, which is such a farcical notion. In the 25-26 campaign, my guy has 5 times more goals than Madrid's second highest goal scorer. Mbappe's individual tally is also more than every other member of the squad combined. Alongside that, he also has the 3rd most assists too. He leads La Liga and the UCL in both goals and assists, plus chances created. He can do it all. He's a far more multifaceted offensive weapon than that of a Haaland, for instance, who I also rate so highly for the record, yet in terms of pure skill and creativity, it's not even close. Realistically, I don't think any forward in world football right now is matching Mbappe's standards. Last season, Ballon d'Or winner Dembele, Rafinha, Yamal were considered the best of the best attackers, but in 25-26, I think Mbappe is taking center stage. You could argue Kane's in that conversation too. 28 GA in 21 games is similarly outstanding, but in terms of superstar qualities, I'm still backing Mbappe. Today's display was another masterclass. 2 extraordinary goals. Trent gets the assist with a phenomenal crossfield switch, but the skill, speed, and then ruthlessness of the Frenchman there is scary. That's a goal that prime CR7 would be proud of. He then tees up Camavinga before hitting one from range. It's gotta be tough being a hate watcher of Mbappe these days. Will he win the next Ballon d'Or? Well, it's far too early to say. That being said though, this man is definitely taking home the next Forlon de Fleur award. Seriously, what was that dive? But nonetheless, a great day for Mbappe and a great day for Madrid for the most part. Alonso's been under huge pressure of late. 3 straight draws against subpar opposition in La Liga. The San Mamés is not an easy place to visit, but this was probably Madrid's best game of the season. Alonso certainly thought this. Bellingham was a colossus in midfield. That midfield 4 of the Englishmen, Valverde, Tchouaméni, and Camavinga, all superb. The only negatives today were the ankle injuries sustained to Trent and then Camavinga. Trent's in particular looked a nasty one. Can't underestimate the Englishman's importance to this team. Moving to the Premier League, and Liverpool escaped another damaging defeat thanks to a flash of brilliance from Florian Wirtz, although the £116 million man didn't officially score his first Premier League goal, as it was eventually ruled an OG. So he remains 0 from 13. But like against West Ham, he was probably Liverpool's best performer today. This team is so devoid of confidence right now. Isak with another stinker and hooked. Crazy to think that this was the same player who was prolific in the Prem last season. Speaking of former prolific players, Salah benched in 2 successive games, but it was same old Liverpool, disjointed defensively, toothless in front of goal, slightly unlucky with the deflection goal conceded, but Sunderland deserved a point. Chiesa single-handedly prevented a loss late on with that goal line clearance, but fair play to the newly promoted side, now sitting 6th place in the league after 14 games. That is outstanding, although they might be in trouble in a few weeks' time, as 7 squad members are expected to head to AFCON, the most of any Premier League side. Meanwhile, Arsenal breezed to a 2-0 win over Brentford. I hate how efficient these guys are. A heavily rotated squad, no problem, as the Gunners go 5 points clear at the top of the table. Merino, the central midfielder turned emergency striker, now has more Premier League goals than any other Arsenal player in 2025. 30 goals and assists in total this calendar year. Like, at what point do we start referring to him as a proper number 9? Because he's now actively benching the current Gerd Müller Trophy recipient. What a bizarre timeline. Speaking of bizarre timelines, remember 3 days ago when Chelsea were supposedly in the title race? How quickly the narrative can shift as the Blues were battered 3-1 against Leeds. I mean, I know Maresca's Chelsea love a December collapse, but this was dreadful stuff. Off the back of such a promising week too, beating Barca, taking it to Arsenal with 10 men. But now this, they rest a couple players, take their foot off the throttle, and suffer a comprehensive defeat. As a day one Adarabioyo hater, I partly feel vindicated. The man clearly lacks the technical nuance to operate at an elite level. How he avoided the bomb squad in preseason in the first place is baffling to me. Same thing with Buddy Ashil, but to blame these two in isolation, which a lot of Chelsea fans are doing, is kind of unfair, I think. Chelsea were rubbish across the park. Esteval was lucky to stay on the pitch. Joao Pedro operating as a 10 just doesn't work. Delap isn't showing nearly enough quality or end product, just 2 goals in 16 appearances. With Gittins, it's a similar story. Obviously, this is a young team that still has a very long way to go, but various individuals just aren't performing at the level required. And beyond this, these are the type of games that Chelsea consistently fumble. As underdogs, they almost always step up. PSG, Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal. But in the matches they are expected to win, they more often than not fall short of expectations. Elsewhere, Aston Villa earned another huge 3 points on the road to Brighton in a 4-3 thriller. What a crazy situation this is. Villa were winless in their opening 6 games this season, yet they're now in 3rd place in the Premier League and Europa League tables. This team is on fire. 8 wins in their last 9 Premier League outings. Unai Emery also making history with the most away wins of any Aston Villa manager in the club's history, with 62 in 115 games. We also saw away wins for Nottingham Forest at Wolves and Crystal Palace at Turf Moor, rising up to 5th place in the Premier League. Staying in European football, and we had some massive cup games overnight, starting with the Coppa Italia, and a rampant Inter have smashed Venezia at the San Siro, with their French contingency all delivering. Andy Diouf scored the first for the club, Marc Thuram struck twice, and then Ange Bonni came on and scored a beauty shortly after. Pio Esposito also scored a fine goal from range, another one of Inter's and Italy's most promising next-gen players. Napoli played out a thriller at the Maradona Stadium, Lorenzo Luca with a much needed goal, but this match would be decided via penalties, where the Gliazzurri spectacularly prevailed 9-8, with centre-back Alessandro Bongiorno slotting home the winner. In Germany, Bayern narrowly advanced to the DFB Pokal quarterfinals over a determined Union Berlin. This was a crazy match that saw 2 own goals for Bayern, 2 penalties scored for Union, and another goal for Harry Kane. Berlin had 19 shots in comparison to Bayern's 6. Not something you tend to see from the powerhouse of German football, while Stuttgart got the better of Bochum, with who else but Dennis Undav getting on the score sheet once again. That's 10 goal involvements now in his last 6 games. Shifting continents to South American football, and 4 days after winning the Copa Libertadores, Flamengo have defeated Ceará to win the 2025 Brasileiro. Samuelino with the title winning goal, as Felipe Luis picks up his 5th trophy in 15 months as manager, more or less completing Brazilian football management already. A special moment for this club in front of a record club attendance of over 73,000 at the Maracanã. But at the other end of the table, another huge storyline unfolded. Santos took a massive 3 points on the road to Juventud to jump out of the relegation zone, thanks to who else but Neymar's hat-trick. This situation is legit insane. Remember, a few weeks ago, Santos were in a state of turmoil. Neymar had come under fire for his underwhelming performances since returning to the club, but then he tweeted this, seemingly making a statement that he was unfazed by the pressure. What since followed has been spectacular. Santos have remained unbeaten ever since. Neymar has amassed 6 goal involvements in those 4 games, including today's incredible hat-trick. What makes it all the more impressive is that he's done so whilst battling injury. The medical staff at Santos recommended he take the remainder of 2025 off to undergo surgery on a meniscus issue, but the Brazilian icon said, "No, my team needs me. I will play on despite the risk." They're not mathematically safe from relegation just yet. A tough home game against Cruzeiro on match day 38 awaits, but momentum is on their side and the fire has been lit inside Neymar. Maybe this could reignite his World Cup dream for 2026. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. See you tomorrow.